Hi everyone, in the previous video we finished setting up the N8N server on a VPS. In this video I'll guide you through connecting Google Sheets to N8N using Google OAuth2 Authentication, an essential step to enable reading or writing data to your Google Sheets automatically. First, make sure you have a running N8N server with a custom domain and proper SSL configuration. You'll also need a Google account that's ready to log into the Google Cloud Console to create the OAuth credentials for N8N. Now that everything is ready, go ahead and connect to your N8N server to update the configuration. Next, navigate to your N8N project directory. Then, open the env file to update a few essential configuration lines. Next, we need to add a configuration line to define the main address that N8N will use to generate the authentication link with Google. And make absolutely sure you've replaced that line with your actual domain. Alright, once you're done editing, go ahead and save the file, then exit. Next, open your docker-compose configuration file. Now we'll add the variable we just defined in the previous file into the environment section of the docker-compose configuration. Alright, once you're done editing, save the file and close it. Next, stop your current N8N container and start it again to apply the new changes. This allows N8N to reload all the updated configurations we just made. Now that everything is configured and N8N has been restarted, let's move on to the next step. In this step, we'll create an OAuth2 credential inside N8N to get the callback link. In the search box inside the credential creation window, type Google Sheet. Select Google Sheets OAuth2 API to proceed with the setup. This is the link we'll need when setting up credentials in Google Cloud. Just copy this URL and keep it handy, we'll use it shortly. Also, make sure the callback URL follows the same format as the example shown here. The only difference should be in the domain or subdomain, depending on how you've configured your N8N server. Next, switch over to your Google Cloud tab. Here, we'll begin creating the OAuth2 credentials so that N8N can connect to Google Sheets. First, let's create a separate project just for this so it's easier to manage later on. Then, go ahead and name your project. Once the project is created, go ahead and select it. Next, click on the three-line menu icon in the top left corner. Then go to APIs and Services and choose Library to open the API library. Here, you need to enable two APIs, Google Drive API and Google Sheets API. Next, go back to the library to enable Google Sheets API. Next, click on Credentials from the left-hand menu. This is where we'll start creating the OAuth credentials to connect with N8N. Now click on the Create Credentials button at the top. Then, select OAuth Client ID. Click on Configure Consent screen to get started. In the App Information section, enter your app name and your email address. In the Audience section, select External to allow users to access your application. Next, enter your email address in the Contact Information section. Finally, click Create to complete the creation of the OAuth consent screen. Next, click Create OAuth Client to start creating the OAuth credentials for your application. In the Application Type section, choose Web Application, since we'll be connecting through the N8N web interface. In the next step, give your OAuth client a recognizable name. Next, under Authorized Redirect URIs, click Add URI. And paste in the callback URL you copied earlier from N8N. Then, click Create to finish creating your OAuth client. Once created, you'll see your client ID and client secret. Copy both of these values so we can configure them in N8N in the next step. Next, click on Audience to add users who are allowed to access the app. Click Add Users under the Test Users section. Then enter your email address to add it to the testing list. We've now successfully created the OAuth2 credentials on Google Cloud, including the client ID, client secret, and added test users. Now let's go back to N8N to complete the authentication setup. Here, paste the client ID and client secret that we just got from Google Cloud Console into the corresponding fields. Next, click the Sign In with Google button to proceed with the authentication. Select your Google account from the list to continue the authentication process. Here, select the permissions you want to grant to N8N. In this case, I'll choose Select All to allow full access as needed. If everything is correct, you'll see a pop-up confirming that the connection was successful. This means N8N is now authenticated with Google and ready to work with Google Sheets. Additionally, you can rename the default connection to make it easier to manage, especially if you have multiple connections or different Google accounts. Finally, don't forget to click Save to store all the configuration. And that's it. We've successfully connected Google Sheets to N8N using OAuth2 Authentication. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to support more content like this. Thanks for watching.